A very good morning to you, Sir Christopher. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us. First of all, your reaction to the last 24 hours and the resignation of Liz Truss.
Well, I think it's appalling, actually, and I apologise. I feel ashamed of my revolting colleagues, actually. They brought down another Prime Minister, and it's the same people who are largely responsible who brought down Boris Johnson. And we're now in a dire state because basically the Conservative Parliamentary Party has proved itself to be ungovernable. And that's going to be a problem that will beset any successor unless that successor gets a mandate from the British people, a fresh mandate from the British people, and I think that will calm the parliamentary party, and hopefully they will then have some respect for the new leader.
So you blame your fellow Tory MPs, you call them revolting, but some would say that Liz Truss has brought this on herself. It was her mini-budget that caused such upset in the market, saw the cost of borrowing rise and people's mortgage costs go up.
No, that's not correct. She was being undermined from the moment that she had been chosen by 58% of the people in the country and the Conservative members as our leader. When she went to the party conference, she was being undermined by Michael Gove and others. And then when she came forward with, I thought was an excellent proposal to put a cap on energy prices, that caused an issue in the markets. And instead of trying to calm things down, her detractors tried to make it even more difficult for her. And the consequence is we've now lost a Prime Minister who had some really good ideas on growth and low taxes, and we are now in a maelstrom.
And in a maelstrom now, so who do you want to see take over then?
Well, I don't see that there's really any of the candidates who are coming forward are going to command my support. And I think that the news that Boris Johnson might be riding to the rescue of the country and the Conservative Party is really a great tonic. And I'm really excited about that prospect because I didn't want him to be deposed in the first place. I said we'd rue the day that he was deposed. Sadly, I've been proved right on that. But I think that if we had Boris back, then he's already got a mandate from the British people. And my email box is full up with people saying they want to have Boris back. So I see him as the great hope.
And yet that's interesting. He did, of course, win a majority in 2019. But just before he resigned, 69% of the public, according to the polls, wanted him to go. He also lost the confidence of the party as well, didn't he? More than 60 MPs resigned in protest at him being Prime Minister.
Well, that was 60, but of course he tried to have a government from all parts of the party, and what happened in the end was that he was undermined by those people who are not real Conservatives, and I'm afraid there are too many people in the Parliamentary Party who are not real Conservatives.
He's still under investigation from the Privileges Committee. There's an investigation still going on over whether he misled Parliament. That could be problematic, couldn't it?
Well, I discount that. I think that if we elect him as our new Prime Minister, then he will command the authority of a majority of my parliamentary colleagues. And if people want to have noises off, then they can continue to do that. But I can't comment on the work of the Privileges Committee, except to say that they seem to have set themselves a very low bar for finding him guilty by not requiring that it should have been a deliberate misleading. He never deliberately misled the House of Commons.
Rishi Sunak hasn't formally declared yet, but it's widely thought that he will step forward. Some people will say he's the natural choice, given that he came second. He was runner-up to Liz Truss and went through that whole leadership campaign that lasted so many weeks over the summer.
Well, he's certainly not my natural choice, nor that of my constituents, because he was involved in undermining Boris Johnson and showed his disloyalty. And I don't think Did you ever hear him come to speak out in support of Liz Truss and say we should give her a bit of time and allow her a bit of room in order to develop her policies? No, he didn't. He and his acolytes were continually undermining her. So I think if you want to have a further divided Conservative Party, choose Rishi Sunak. But if you want a united party, he's not the answer.
So do you think Liz Truss did nothing wrong?
Well, I'm not saying that she did nothing wrong. She admits herself that she made mistakes, and that's fair enough. But are we that unforgiving as a party? We call ourselves compassionate Conservatives, but I haven't seen from a lot of my colleagues any compassion whatsoever for Liz Truss and her family, and I think that's unacceptable.
If Boris Johnson doesn't run, do you want a general election?
I think there should be a general election because we need whoever becomes the leader. If it's not Boris Johnson, we need to have a proper mandate, and the only way to get a proper mandate is to go to the people. And I'm not pessimistic about the outcome of a general election now on the issue of putting our economy right. Do we want to have Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer and all the left and the Labour Party campaigning for higher taxes and more trade union disruption, or do we want to have a Conservative government with taking a fresh line on the economy? If some of my friends in the party had more confidence in our policies, then they wouldn't be so pessimistic about the prospects of an early general election.
OK, so Christopher Chope, thanks very much indeed for your time this morning. We appreciate it.